At the end of its economic lifespan, where does the plane, the one you're flying on right now, end up? This stage in an aircraft's lifespan is the domain of our next guest. Jeff Lewis is Vice President of Business Development for Universal Asset Management, and he's here to give us a window into the world of aviation asset management. Jeff, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me on the show today.
Jeff, tell me, what's the nature of your business? What do you do at Universal Asset Management?
Universal Asset Management is a very unique company in the industry. As aviation industry leaders, we provide quality aftermarket aircraft components to air carriers and suppliers by acquiring, managing, and leasing aviation assets. Our customized programs, along with our experience, persistence, and dedication, provide measurable results and seamless customer service in the global marketplace. My role at Universal Asset Management is the business development side of the company. I'm responsible for the global expansion of the company and to develop our current customer base to expand it globally.
I understand that the industry has changed quite a bit in recent years. What's the lifespan of an aircraft like these days?
Well, the economical lifespan of aviation assets and aircraft, such as the one you're flying on today, has changed drastically in the last 5 to 6 years. It used to be when a major airline, a legacy carrier, purchased an aircraft, they had an economical lifespan of 30 years. Now, due to changes in regulatory requirements within the industry, that economic lifespan is starting to shrink drastically, up to where we're looking at 15 to 18-year economic lifespan. And in some cases, with certain types of aircraft, we've seen them actually parted out when they're only 2 or 3 years old.
So a big part of your business is maximizing the return on investment for these airframes. How are you working with airlines and financiers to do this?
Universal Asset Management works with the individual customers, whether that be an airline, one of the financiers, or leasing companies, to develop a plan for each individual asset. Some of those assets will be released, placed on leases to other customers, whether that be short-term or longer-term leases. But at the end of the day, when the asset comes back to Universal Asset Management, where we can't find another home for it as a flying aircraft, we bring that asset in-house and we do a disassembly of the asset. So we take the airplane apart and we sell those individual parts to then end users, other airlines who continue to operate that same type of aircraft. And in many cases, at the end of the economic life of the aircraft is actually worth more in pieces than it is as a whole aircraft. And the same goes with inventories, where we do consignment inventories with the major airlines globally, bring those inventories in-house, and on a consignment basis, we sell the individual parts from those inventories globally.
Now, before we go, Jeff, where do you think the future of the industry is headed, and what role will UAM play in it?
Well, definitely the number of assets that are going to be targeted for part out in the future is going to drastically increase, especially with the arrival of the Boeing 787 and the Airbus A350 and other aircraft that have yet to be designed, such as the 737 MAX and the A320neo. Once those aircraft start being introduced into airlines' fleets, they're going to be phasing out at a higher rate. And Universal Asset Management will play an important role in those phase-out programs. We're going to work with our customers to maximize the return that they get on those investments and out of those assets so that they can move forward with their fleet planning without worrying about the money tied up in existing assets.
Jeff, thanks for joining us on our flight today.
Thanks, and have a great flight.
That was Jeff Lewis. Visit Universal Asset Management at uaminc.com. That's uaminc.com.